Alright, I want to show you guys something I found whenever I took it over and changed the tire myself. You can see, new tire. But they got wheel weights there and wheel weights there. Now, hold on a second. Alright. Those wheel weights, what that tells me is, last time the dealership changed my tire and they balanced it, they didn't pull the old weights off. So that's half-ass work. They want to charge $160 for work like that. No. Road Glide in the garage, where we always got something going on. Tire. Yep, I'm gonna show you guys how you can save a few bucks by at least pulling the tire off of your bike yourself and putting it back on yourself. I am going to be doing the complete tire change myself, so it's not going to cost me anything but a little bit of time. I was going to have the dealership do it, but they told me it'd be $160 after tax and FET and all this and that crap. I'm like, no thanks. I have a neighbor kind enough to let me use their lift, which is what I'm going to use for now. Eventually, I will have a lift in the garage so I can do this stuff myself. And I've changed them with tire spoons. It's not that hard. But my neighbor has a tire machine. He said I'm more welcome to use it anytime I want to. So I thank him and appreciate that. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to get the bike moved around. We'll get it all set up. Of course, we got to take the saddlebags off. We'll get those off. We'll show you guys a few things to take off. Some key points and stuff. And bring you in along the way, YouTube. We got the saddlebags off, which you have to do if you're going to be doing this yourself. Even if somebody else does it. Saddlebags have to come off. We took the right side cover off. I'll show you guys why here in a minute. Just a little helpful tip. We got it just started on the lift so the bike's level. Back tire's still touching the ground. Front tire is just about off the ground. If you're changing the rear tire, if you can, position your jack. If you're using something like this, a fork jack, position it to where it'll lift the front of the bike first. So when you pull that back tire down, the bike doesn't teeter as much. It's going to, because you're taking a lot of weight off the back of this thing. And it's going to honestly scare the shit out of you when it does happen. But we got the bike strapped to the jack, and we're going to go ahead and get the camera off the tripod and show you guys a couple of things that you got to take off in order to get your tire off. And then once we get all that stuff off, we'll show you the process of dropping the tire and everything down and out, and hopefully the bike don't fall off the lift. If it does, it does. I mean, whatever. Alrighty. So, left side of the bike, you're going to want to remove that clamp right there. And 2 bolts right there. Pull your slip-on off. That hole right there, that is for... Shut up, Dallas! Neighbors are out. Your bolt deflection. So what I like to do when I'm changing my tires is, before I pull my tire off, I check it and see where it is. And then I'll just remember that. Just take your finger, push up on it. You guys probably can't see that real well, but see where it goes up? About midway. That's pretty good. Right side of the bike. Take 1, 2, out. Take clamp, slip on, pull it off. Reason why, axle nut and your axle on the other side, you can't get it out. You can't get in there and get to it. This clip, once you get your slip on off, flathead screwdriver, pop that E-clip out, take your brake caliper off. Any questions about how to do that, see my rear brake replacement video. And we pulled the side cover off to give us more room for the caliper. Got the brake caliper off. We got the slip on off over here. We pulled our clip out. Now we're going to run this nut off. And it's going to be a little tricky doing it by myself. I had help last time. But this is your brake caliper bracket. It goes through the axle with the ABS sensor. So the axle's out, it comes out the other side. You got a spacer. So your axle will go through your swing arm, then your spacer through the wheel, and then where it gets tricky, it'll go through your ABS sensor. That's what this is. And then it goes through, let me find it. Your brake caliper bracket. So your ABS sensor sits back there like that behind it, and your axle comes through. Now another note is your axle has that flat portion. Reason being is you have another adjustment key like this that goes on this side, and it's flat on one side where it's flat up here on your threads. So these are in time, and your wheel is always square, so it'll run true. And we'll show you guys that once we get everything back together and all that stuff. But let's get that tire off of. Not quite enough. Your belt drive gear off. Do not drop this. Do not let it hit the ground. Very important. Now we're going to pull the cush drive out. So, let me get out of your way. This is your cush drive. It absorbs vibration from the belt drive to your wheel. And we're going to pull it out so we don't lose it. Now we'll jack it up a wee bit more. Roll that tire out of there. There you go, folks. That easy to get your tire off. Alright. Sprocket, cush drive, all that stuff is on. It will be easier if you have a buddy help you. I don't have a buddy here to help me. So, we'll put the tire in like that. And then we'll lower the lift. That's as far as I want to go right now. Because I need to get my belt on. I need to get my belt on. I know, not the best way to do this. But, hey. Belt around the bottom. That shouldn't be that hard. I've done this before. It's not that hard. Alright. Nice little coating never sees. All you need. I'm going to start the axle and lift it back up and try to use my legs to support it to get the Alright guys, I'll show you guys something. The brake rotor is so close to your swing arm right there, it's a pain in the butt to get everything lined up. So I lowered it down, but that tire needs to turn so I can get that shim in. So I have a ratchet just going through to kind of stabilize it. And I'm going to go over and see if I can't get the shim up in there and all that stuff, and get the axle started through this side, and then I'll get everything together over here. Alright, we got the axle started. Not coming through yet. Voila. We'll lower it down, put a little bit of pressure. And we'll send it through. Alright, this right here is how you adjust your tension. So, before you put your axle all the way through, make sure this end is in over here. You need to make sure you got a flat spot so it'll go through. I'll show you guys that. Now, what will happen is when you turn your axle, it'll slide your belt back. Alright. Here's your adjuster for the right side. Notice it has a flat spot. There's a flat spot on the axle. line the flat spot up, put your axle nut on. Alright, so I need to move the wheel back to get our belt tension right, which I'll show you guys belt tension here in a minute. But I know around about where my axle goes because I've done this a few times. So I can get it close. Pull it back snug, not over tight. Okay. Now, key. Check your belt alignment with your sprocket or belt gear, whatever you want to call it. Spin that. Make sure it's in the teeth. By spinning it, you'll ensure that your belt is lined up with the teeth, because the next step is important. Okay, that's pretty well lined up, like with some weight on it. I don't have my fob out here, so the lights are flashing. Let's check my belt tension. I'm real close to where I was. Alright, we got our torque wrench, 36mm socket, extension, 100 foot-pounds. That's it. Clicks, you're done. Immediately take your torque wrench and set it to 0. Take your E-clip, put your E-clip on. There you go. Now, you can raise it up, spin your tire, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. It's on there. It ain't going nowhere. Bolt your brake caliper back up. Put your slip-on side cover bags back on. Go out, ride fast, and live slow. And that's how Road Glide Andy does it by himself. That's the first time I've done it by myself. I know some of it was a struggle. There are easier methods. That's just a method that worked for me. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next.